I feel like over my lifetime, I've seen the unity in this country decrease rapidly. It feels like we're at a 50-50 point. Is there a way we could get back to the post 9/11 unity, country together, and how would you go about doing that?
Yeah, so I care deeply about national unity. We've lost that in this country. E pluribus unum. From many, one. That from one we have become many. Here's my route to getting there. I disagree with many fellow Republicans on this. Some people think the way we're going to get to national unity is through compromise. Right? Show up at the 50-yard line, make some compromises, hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and call it a day and say we're unified. I don't think that's going to actually work. I don't think that's real unity. I think the way we're going to unite this country, it sort of ties to my answer to the very first question, actually. The way we're going to unite this country is by embracing the radicalism of our shared ideals. You see, the idea that you're able to speak your mind freely as long as I get to in return, that is a radical idea, actually. For most of our country's history, most of our world's history, it was done the other way. Old world Europe on down. That was a radical idea in the United States. The idea that we, the people, settle our differences in a republic where every citizen's voice and vote counts equally at the ballot box. That's a wild idea. That is an extreme idea. That is a radical idea. It is the radicalism of the American Revolution. That's what that was about. So that's the key, is we're going to unite this country not by, as we're taught by the powers that be, to do it through moderation, but by embracing the radicalism of 1776. By reuniting the shared values that unite all of us. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 20.
You're 20, so you're a generation younger than me. I'm 38. But I think the issue in our generation is, I said this before, we were taught to celebrate those differences so much. Our diversity is our strength, we were told. Our diversity is not our strength. Our strength is what unites us across that diversity. Without that, just think about it. If that didn't exist, what do we see in the country today? We're a bunch of different-looking, two-legged higher mammals with a bunch of different shades of melanin, walking some geographic space that we call a country, doing what our iPhones told us to do on a given day. That's what the country looks like on certain days to me. But that is not America. America is a vision of what that place can be. That's what we're going to have to revive in this country. And so, yes, Thomas Jefferson, I talked about him last night. He was 33 years old. He was somewhere in between you and I when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. And I said last night, too, he invented the swivel chair while he was at it. That's the spirit we're going to need to revive. He wasn't a moderate. He was a guy who believed in absolute free speech, who believed that we're the pioneers, we're the explorers, the unafraid. And half of this is not going to come through policy. Half of this is going to come from a president who revives our national character. I'm an America First conservative, all in. But to put America first, we now have to rediscover what America is. I think it's been a long time. I mean, I've got two boys myself. One's 3.5 and one's a year and a half. It has been a long time since we've had a president who we could look our kids in the eye and tell them in good conscience that I want you to grow up and be like him, whoever that is in the White House. That is the standard that I want you to hold our family to when we are there. What Reagan said when he left office in 1989, and I don't watch inauguration speeches, they bore me, they're full of unfulfilled promises. I watch the farewell speeches where they tell you what they actually did. Of all the things Reagan could have said in 1989 that he was proud of, bringing us to the near end of the Cold War, reviving our economy, everything else, he didn't pick any of that. He said he was most proud of reviving our national character. When I leave office in January 2033, for all the things I told you we would tell you, the most important thing I want to tell you is that my two sons and their generation, your generation, can say that we are once again proud to be citizens of this nation. Fill our hunger for purpose with our American national identity that dilutes this poisonous agenda to irrelevance. I'll close on this. We don't have to be ancient Rome. We don't have to be that nation in decline. Actually, I think as a nation like you, we are really just a little young, actually. Going through our own version of adolescence. Figuring out who we're going to be when we grow up. And when you view it that way, it makes sense again, actually. You go through that adolescence, you go through that identity crisis. You lose your way a little bit. Do some stupid things. I don't know about you, but I did. Our country certainly is right now. But we are stronger for it when we get to our adulthood on the other side. So I'm going to ask you to do something and spread this word to the people around you too, in your age group and otherwise. We don't have to be in decline. I think we can still be a nation in our ascent. It's not morning in America right now, but it can be. The American dream is not alive and well right now. I'm not going to sit here to a 20-year-old who's presumably hardworking, entering the economy, trying to make his way. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you the American dream is alive and well right now. It is not. It is alive and hanging on by life support. But it can be. And I think it's going to take the right leader from that next generation to lead us there. So if you do your part, I mean that. We all have a role to play. It's not going to be just one of us coming from on high, from the White House to save us. If we're going to be saved, we're going to be saved by ourselves. But if you all do your part, if you do your part, people in your generation, your peers, every one of you do your part, then Apoorv and I and our family are going to do ours to make sure that our country's best days are, yes, still ahead of us. To make sure that we will look our kids in the eye and tell them and mean it, that the United States of America is still the country where no matter who you are, or where your parents came from, or what your skin color is, that you get ahead in this country with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication. And that you know what? You are free to speak your minds at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And with your help, I mean this on January 15th, with your help, between now and then, spreading this message to every person you know in this community and bringing them out on January 15th too, with your help, that is what we're going to revive to save this great country. Thank you for coming out, guys.